Okay, so picture this. You've got this massive, impossible job opening. You need someone or something to sift through thousands of AI-generated texts. And of course, you need it done like yesterday. And then a new candidate walks in the door, an AI judge. And let me tell you, its resume is, well, it's pretty incredible. So let's dive in.
I mean, on paper, this candidate looks absolutely perfect. But that brings us to the real million-dollar question, the one we're going to dig into right now. Would you actually trust it with a job?
And to really get why this is such a huge deal, you gotta understand the job market right now. See, there's this enormous, ever-growing demand for AI evaluation. And frankly, there just aren't enough humans to do all the work. So, why is everyone scrambling to hire an LM judge? So, let's actually look at this resume. First off, this candidate is unbelievably fast. We're talking thousands of examples processed overnight. It's also super cheap, costing just a tiny fraction of what a human would. And maybe best of all, it's tireless. It works 24/7, never gets bored, never needs a coffee break. It's kind of the perfect employee, right? No wonder everyone's so interested.
But you and I know better, right? We're not just going to hire someone based on a flashy resume. Nope. It's time for the interview, the performance test. We got to sit this candidate down, ask some tough questions, and see if it really has what it takes.
All right, so first question in the interview, you might be tempted to just ask, how accurate are you? Get a simple percentage. But if we just look at the raw agreement, say it agrees with a human 80% of the time, we're walking right into a trap. Because that number, well, it can be super misleading. It doesn't tell you if the AI is smart or just lucky. This is why asking the right interview question is everything. So on one side, you have raw agreement. That's the wrong way to go. It can be fooled by pure chance. Like, imagine a true or false test where 90% of the answers are true. Someone could just guess true for every single question and get a 90%. They look like a genius, but they haven't understood a thing. On the other side, we've got our secret weapon, Cohen's Kappa. Now, this is the trustworthy metric. This is how we separate the lucky guessers from the judges that actually get it. So, what exactly is Cohen's Kappa? Well, think of it like this. It's a score that measures how much two people, or in our case, an AI and a human, agree with each other. But here's the clever part. It automatically subtracts any agreement that could have just happened by random chance. So what you're left with is a measure of true, genuine understanding. And this is where our interview gets really interesting. Because even with a solid test like Kappa, we found that our AI candidate's performance is, well, it's all over the map depending on the specific job. For something straightforward like fact-checking, it gets a 0.7 Kappa. That's pretty solid. But for detecting humor, which is way more subjective, the score drops to 0.5. And for something really complex that needs deep expertise, like legal advice, whoa, it plummets to a 0.3. This tells us something huge. The same judge can be an absolute rock star in one job and totally useless in another. Okay, so the interview is done. We have a complicated but promising candidate on our hands, but we're not making an offer just yet. You know what comes next, right? We've got to run the background check. And what we find in the files, well, let's just say there are a few red flags. Some hidden biases we need to talk about. Yep, we've got the official dossier right here. And as we dig into it, we uncover 4 pretty significant systematic biases. You can think of them as personality flaws, and they're things we absolutely have to know about before we go any further. So let's go through them. So the first flaw is called position bias, and it's as simple as it sounds, but it's kind of sneaky. The AI judge has this weird tendency to just prefer the first option it sees. You show it option A and option B, and for no good reason, it's just a little more likely to pick A, even if B is way better. It's kind of like that friend who always orders the first item on the menu, no matter what it is.
Bias number 2 is length bias. Our AI judge, it seems, is easily impressed by long answers. It basically confuses the number of words with the quality of the idea. So you could have a short, brilliant, perfect answer, and it might lose to a long, rambling response that doesn't really say anything new. It's this weird quirk where more words just feel more correct to the AI, even when they're not.
Then we have sycophancy bias. And honestly, this one's fascinating. Our AI judge is, well, it's a bit of a people pleaser. It gets swayed by language that's really agreeable or flattering. It tries to figure out what you want the answer to be, and then it gives you that, instead of the most accurate objective one. It's a suck-up, basically.
And last but not least, we've got self-preference bias. The best way to describe this is AI nepotism. It's seriously a thing. The judge gives higher scores to answers that were created by its own family of AI models. So if GPT-4 is the judge, it's going to give higher marks to answers written by GPT-4. It's a classic case of playing favorites with the family.
So, okay, the background check revealed some pretty serious issues, right? Position bias, length bias. It's a suck-up. It plays favorites. Your first instinct might be to just say, "You're fired." But not so fast. Because this candidate, despite its flaws, has a ton of potential. So instead of kicking it to the curb, we're going to put it through an intensive training program, a crash course, if you will, to fix these problems.
And just to see how big of a difference this training can make, let's look at where we're starting. Before any training, on a really tough, subtle task, our AI judge only agrees with the human experts about 55% of the time. Let that sink in. That's barely better than flipping a coin. It's not good at all. So here's how we fix that. It's a 3-step training program. First up, few-shot examples. This is huge. Instead of just telling it the rules, we show it. We give it 3 to 5 concrete examples of what a great answer looks like and what a terrible one looks like. Second, specific criteria. We ditch all the vague instructions like just be helpful, and we replace them with a super detailed checklist. And third, and this one's my favorite, chain of thought. We actually force the judge to explain its reasoning step by step before it gives a final score. This is how you transform its sloppy guesswork into real rigorous analysis.
And the result of all this training? Check this out. Boom! The agreement score skyrockets to 85%. I mean, just look at that jump. We're talking about a complete night and day transformation here, and it's all because of these simple but powerful training techniques.
And let's be really clear about what a jump like that actually means. A 20 or 30 percentage point improvement isn't just some small refinement. It is literally the difference between an AI judge that's completely useless and one that's actually reliable enough to do real work. That is the power of calibration. Okay, so our candidate has made it through the whole process. We interviewed it, we ran a background check, we put it through intensive training, and now it's ready for duty. But there is one last absolutely crucial step. We have to assign it the right kind of work. We have to match its skill level to the stakes of the job.
So how do we do that? Well, we can use a simple guide just like this one. For low-stakes stuff, R&D, brainstorming ideas, a Kappa score over 0.65 is probably good enough. For medium-stakes tasks, like summarizing documents, you really want to see that score push past 0.75. But for the really high-stakes jobs, anything involving medical or financial advice, you need a rock-solid Kappa score above 0.80. Think about it. You wouldn't put a rookie lawyer on a murder trial, right? Same exact logic applies here.
And look, the work doesn't stop once the AI is hired. Just like any employee, our AI judge needs constant performance reviews. We're talking about monthly check-ins where we test it against a perfect, gold standard set of human-labeled answers. Every quarter, we need to update that test set with new stuff to keep it on its toes. And we have to be vigilant, monitoring for any drops in performance. If that Kappa score slips, even by a little, we have to jump on it immediately. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal.
So after all this, the interview, the background check, the training, the ongoing management, what's the big takeaway? I think this quote just says it all perfectly. A well-calibrated LLM judge is a genuinely powerful tool. An uncalibrated one is a liability that produces confident-looking numbers you can't trust. That's it. It all boils down to the effort you're willing to put in.
So there you have it. The verdict is in on how to properly hire, train, and manage an AI judge. But that leaves us with one final pretty deep question to chew on. Who's judging the judge?